What's up everybody, welcome back to the Chug YouTube channel. Today we are going to be comparing three very different high-end guitar pickups in my first ever shootout. Let's get into it. Alright, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the Chug YouTube channel. If you're brand new here, just allow me 30 seconds to introduce myself. My name is DJ, I'm a guitarist from the southwest of the UK. I've been playing guitar for about 20 years or so now. Been doing this YouTube thing for a little over 1 year. I play in a band called HollowKin. We are a groovecore band, lots of heavy riffs, double pedaling, screamy, shouty stuff. A little bit of melody sprinkled in just for a little bit of a hook. If you kind of enjoy anything riff-wise that you hear in this video, it's likely that you might enjoy us. So be sure to check us out in the links down below in the description. Anyway, with that shameless plug out of the way, let's check out what we're going to be doing today. So I find myself right now in a very fortunate, very lucky position to have three really beautiful guitars in my collection that have three very different types of pickups in them. And out of my own curiosity, I wanted to put them back to back to back to really see what the difference is. This video isn't comparing them from a this is better than that one, because that's like comparing vanilla, chocolate and strawberry ice cream. Some people are going to like one, some people are going to like the other, but it doesn't mean any of them are bad. They're just different flavors of the same kind of thing. So none of this is to kind of throw any kind of shade at any of these pickups. All of these pickups are amazing. They're all like top of the range pickups for what they are, and like I said, I'm really fortunate that I've got three different guitars with these pickups in them. So the pickups we're going to be comparing are a passive set of Bare Knuckle, Cold Sweat and Ragnarok 7-string pickups in this Epiphone Les Paul Custom Origins Matt Heafy signature guitar, a set of EMG 81-7 and 707 7-string pickups in this ESP LTD TE417, and a set of Fishman Fluence modern 7-string pickups in this Legator Ghost G7XA guitar. So before we go any further into this video, let's very quickly address the elephant in the room. These are very, very different guitars. The Legator is a bolt-on, the LTD is a neck through, and the Epiphone is a set neck. So right off the bat, we've got three different constructions. They're all made of different woods, they've all got different fretboard materials, but they're all modern metal guitars. Some of them are string through, some of them are top loaded. The Legator has got its own thing going on because it's a headless. So yes, these are different guitars and they're going to have different vibes and different styles. But I still think it's a fun opportunity to compare the three different types of pickups and just see how they sound. Now, in the name of continuity, all three guitars are strung up with the exact same set of strings. We've got D'Addario NYXL 11-64 7-string sets on all three guitars. All three guitars are going to be plugged into the same cable, the same interface. It's going to be my Focusrite Scarlett Solo interface. They're all going into GarageBand and they've all got the exact same profiles loaded for clean, ambient, drive and lead tones in the Soldano SLO 100 Neural DSP plugin. The only difference to any of them is the input volume on the Focusrite, because some of these pickups are slightly hotter than the others. So to keep it balanced and make sure that one isn't super loud and one super quiet, that's the only difference on the input, is that I had to turn some up and some down a little bit. But there's also variations for, I had to turn some up for their clean sections and some down for their heavy rhythm sections. So in order to make sure that this video isn't just 45 minutes of me playing the same thing over and over again and horribly boring, I've picked my 4 favorite sounds that you can get out of a guitar that I use the most in my favorite pickup positions for that particular sound. So whenever you hear cleans on all three of these guitars, you're going to be hearing the middle position, so a combination of both pickups. Whenever you hear ambience, you're going to be hearing the bridge pickup on its own. Whenever you hear heavy rhythms, again, it's going to be the bridge pickup on its own, and all of the leads are going to be on the neck pickup only. Like I said, that's just to stop this video being achingly long, because we could just spend days and days looking at all the different tones that these guitars can do, so I just picked my favorite 4. The other thing that's worth mentioning is that on the Legator, we're only going to be using the modern voicing and not the vintage voicing. The Epiphone also has a coil tap option. We're not going to be looking at that today. We're only going to be comparing humbucker to humbucker. So without any further ado, let's jump straight in with the clean tones first. This is where I think I heard the biggest difference across all three. We're going to start with the Epiphone, then we're going to move on to the LTD, and then we're going to finish with the Legator. So all three bring their own characteristics completely to a clean kind of style. So for me, I think my preference out of those three would probably come with the Fishmans in the Legator. Really colorful, really nuanced, really articulate kind of sound to them. They sounded warm, they didn't sound thin. The other two sounded good, but that for me was my preference. Alright, moving on to the ambient guitars next. Here are the same three guitars with loads of reverb, loads of delay, loads of ambience. My favorite way to play a clean guitar. So again, just my personal preference. For me, my preferred one from that little run through was definitely the Bareknuckles. I really enjoy the uncompressed kind of feel to those pickups in that kind of situation. The other two again sounded really good, but to me the Bareknuckles, they just had that little bit more unpredictability, that little bit of rawness, which I like when you're throwing all of those kinds of ambient time-based effects onto a guitar. To me that sounded, certainly in the room, and like I said, we're not running through an amp, we're running through a digital setup here coming out of my computer monitors, but to me that sounded the best. Alright, probably the most important one coming up next. We're going to check out some heavy rhythm tones. Let's roll it. with the drive tones, I'm not really going to pick my personal preference because, like I said, they're three different flavors of the same kind of thing, and they all do what they do really, really well. The Fishman's super articulate, super crispy, super punchy, guaranteed to punch through a mix. The Bare Knuckles, those are really unpredictable, really raw, lots of energy. They sound amazing. You can hear everything that's going on in them, all the nuances of the notes, but they just have that uncompressed edge to them where they're just a bit more dynamic. The EMGs in the LTD, they are just their own thing. I think they just bring their own thing to the party. They sound like EMGs. They have that sort of mid to early 2000s metal vibe to them. They're very clear, very crisp. Perhaps some people might say they're a bit fuzzy, but the way they sound, I think, is a part of their own charm. So no preference from me. I think they all sounded amazing, but do me a favor and let me know down in the comments which you preferred and why, most importantly, which one you think sounded the best for that particular application. Alright, and last up, I think we should check out some lead tones. Not the thing that I do the best, so hold your judgment. I'm not any kind of neoclassical shred wizard. I do the chuggy kind of caveman stuff. That's about it, but here's some lead tones nonetheless. So for me, quite surprising. I think my personal preference out of the lead tones was definitely from the LTD with the EMG 707 in the neck up here. I loved that. It was really warm. Probably a bit too compressed for most people. You lose a lot of the nuance with pick attack and things like that, but I just love that really warm sound, sustain for days. In fact, they all sustain really well. So I can't give that exclusively to the LTD and the EMG 707, but I just really like that warm characteristic. Like I said though, they all sounded fantastic. They all brought their own flavor to the kind of party, their own thing and their own twist on the same kind of thing, their own flavor. As we've used ice cream for an example, they just bring their own thing. So that's just about going to do it for today from me. This was just a quick little video that I've been meaning to knock out for a little while. It genuinely interested me to kind of hear the differences between all of these three different pickup styles. I still withhold that I prefer passive pickups, and especially because there's such a broad and such a wide selection of passive pickups available. They all sound so different. They all bring their own thing to the party. But I think coming back to these three pickups or these three sets of pickups, there's no losers. They all sound amazing in their own right. They just bring different flavors of the same thing. And I'm just super lucky to have all three. I feel very blessed, and yeah, I'm just super lucky to be able to do this kind of video. Anyway, enough waffling from me. Thank you so much for joining me for today's little shootout video. I've got a couple more videos coming out this week and this weekend, so if you want to catch them, then hit that subscribe button, drop a comment down below to let me know what your thoughts and opinions are on these three pickups and these three guitars. And if you wanted to see the full videos on any of these three guitars, I'll leave links at the end of this video in the cards. Take care until I catch you next time, everybody. In a bit.